Hello, hello. Sometimes in life, good things happen to you. Your dreams come true. You get to live a fantastic moment. And right now, that's happening for me because I have SE Cupp here.
Hi.
This is probably the best day of my life. I just want to tell you that. Yes, it is. You are my Bravo celebrity. Like you are
Oh.
one of my favorite people out there. I watch your
Oh.
content. I even love your outfits on Instagram, like I said earlier. So thank you for being here. I
My
really appreciate.
pleasure.
Oh, fantastic. Well, SC is a television host, political commentator, writer, public speaker, and has a PhD in Bravo. Is that the
That's
right way?
correct. That is correct.
Beautiful. I'm here to learn. I'm going to take notes. I have so much to learn from you today. But before we begin, I know, before we begin, I do want to ask you, you've been in the news business for about 20 years. What is your news diet? How do you decide, what to watch? Now we
Yeah.
have podcasts, social media. Also, there's so much going on all the time. How do you decide what to watch, what to listen, how to make the
Yeah.
news?
This stage of my career is so much different from the beginning of my career where I was listening to, watching, reading everything. I mean, I was reading like Der Spiegel, a German newspaper in English when I was young because I wanted European news too. Now, actually, it's about condensing. And part of that is to streamline my job. I simply cannot read and watch everything. And like you said, there's so much of it now. The other part of it is keeping my mental health safe. And sometimes when I overload on news unnecessarily, it does a number on my head. So I watch CNN because I'm on CNN, and watching CNN tells me what we're going to be talking about that day. Um, I read the New York Times. I check social media because it's a pretty good aggregator. You just have to double source and check your sources these days. Politico, Axios. I get a lot of newsletters, which make it easier. Um, and I read Mediaite every single day, multiple times a day, because that not only tells me what's in the news, but what people in my business are saying about the news. And that's just as important for me to know as what is actually happening. It's what people are saying about what's happening. What is the story that's being crafted by people like me? So that's it these days. And honestly, on days where I don't have to go on television, I try to limit my news intake because it's just too much. It's just too much.
It's a lot for everyone, especially for
Yeah.
somebody who is working in the news. And I've noticed that that's how I discovered Bravo, and that's how I got a little bit obsessed with pop culture as well, because it's such a nice escape from everything. Like
Exactly right.
sometimes I just want to watch catfights and nice bags that I will never be able to afford. That's
You're
fine.
so right. And I
That's
think you're describing most Bravo viewers and it's funny. I have a friend that works in research at Bravo, and he's told me that there's an intersection of people who watch CNN and people who watch Bravo. And it's because the audience is highly educated and also pretty affluent. But they want both. They want the news and then they want the escape. So it's like a shot and a chaser. And that's it for me for sure. And in discovering Bravo when I did many, many years ago, that's what it was for me. And it still is. It's still a part of I honestly call it a part of my mental health system, because part of my mental health is escaping from what I do day to day. And there's nothing like Bravo to help you snap out of the news. Like when Tamra Judge is yelling at somebody, how can you think about what's going on in Washington? You cannot.
exactly.
It's
That's my
perfect.
opinion.
That's my opinion.
That's all that's been like in my mind since she said it. And that's it. I don't think about the news or anything else. You're absolutely right.
Perfect.
Like coming home from work and cooking yourself a nice dinner and like watching a Bravo show, I don't need anything else in my life. It's
Same.
just the best. It's
Same
just the
girl, same.
best.
Same girl, same. It's that's all I need. Yep.
And also like the whole psychological aspect of everything. I like to see how humans behave in certain situations. Like who's the one who can always get away with the murder? Who's the instigator? How
Yeah.
does the passive one react with everything? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of components that makes Bravo such an interesting universe that people are addicted to. So
Yeah,
Here we
and we
are.
get at the end, we get a reunion where it's all fleshed out and people get held accountable and you get the full story and circle. And that reunion is the justice that we crave. And we can't find it in the real world. There is no justice, right? I mean, look at what's happening in Washington. No one gets held accountable anymore. On Bravo, there's justice. There's a reunion show where people are shown what they've done, what they've said. They are shown audience reaction. Andy grills them, and they have to answer for what they've done that season. It's beautiful.
It's I don't know how I would handle a reunion. I always think about it because, low key, I'm always fantasizing that I will be a housewife one day of Astoria, whatever, anything. I'll take it. I'll take anything at this point. I didn't want to open with this question, but now you mentioned the reunion, and Garcelle at the reunion is something that I've been thinking about lately. What do you think about her walking out? What do you think about Erica Jane's comment that she's not that interesting? And what do you think about the whole past season? I think that, Dorit was a badass to say the least. Her with a cigarette is just iconic.
I'm living for it. Yeah.
I was living for everything. And then Sutton was specifically vicious this season.
She was deranged this season. I don't even know.
The wallet comment and
Yeah.
everything else. You know what? I was disappointed. Almost. I'm like, come on, that's way too low. So how do you look at the whole season at the reunion and Garcelle leaving?
Yeah, it was. Well, let me just start by saying the women are right. Sutton does attack women when they're down. And speaking of psychology, I mean, I've thought about this a lot, and here's what I think. We met her mom. I think Sutton was not allowed to be emotional as a child because it made her mom uncomfortable. And, her mom is Southern, and her mom probably didn't want everyone to know about her alcoholic husband. And so I think her mom made Sutton swallow her feelings a lot. And so now Sutton is uncomfortable when women are emotional and flailing and vulnerable and hurt because she had to get right back up when she was down as a kid. That was what her mom did. I mean, this is my psychological analysis.
It makes total sense.
Doesn't it? Because there's no reason. These are women you like. And all you're doing all season is preaching how sisterhood and we should all support each other. And I've been through divorce and I can help you. And yet, Erica's right. In these very moments, when these women need her most, she is attacking on the thing that they are struggling with specifically. So I think that's what's going on there. Sutton, I'll send you a bill for that analysis. But I think what Garcelle was feeling in the reunion was unsupported. I think she thinks of herself as someone who stands up for her friends, and she does. Who isn't afraid to take on Kyle or whomever is the top dog. And I think what she was watching was no one sticking up for her. That's what she felt. She felt abandoned by everyone. No one's hearing her. No one was specifically mean to her at the reunion, but they weren't showing up for her, I think, the way she wanted to be shown up for. And I think she experienced that all season and felt like, I can't do this anymore. I am showing up. I am a good friend. No one, even my best friend, is here sticking up for me when I need it. That's what I think was happening. She hasn't said, so I don't really know. But I think that's what was going on.
Yes, Sutton choosing Kyle this season and at the reunion. I think that was like the final nail in the coffin for Garcelle. But I do have to say two things about her. Although I am a Garcelle fan, I really liked her from season one. Erica does have a point. She is a tad, I'm not going to say boring, but there's not a lot going on in her life. And she said it. It's not my fault that I only bought a beach house and have kids and that I'm not dating. So there's not a lot going on. So we are not attached to her per se. We like her, but there's not a lot going on. And on the other hand, looking back, she does ask a lot of instigating questions.
We love her for that, though.
I love her
for that. Because why isn't anyone talking about Morgan? I love Garcelle for that. But I would frame and when a housewife gets labeled with a boring label, to me that always says, I actually think this is just a good person who is not going to get dirty. And I think Garcelle's a good person. I think she's a normal person. She's been in the limelight her whole life. She doesn't need fame the way some housewives who just got it, need it.
Mhm.
So I think she's like, I'm not really here for the drama. And that doesn't make a great housewife. You
Yeah.
might really like that person and want to be friends with that person in real life, but it doesn't always make a great housewife.
She's classy, a true
Yeah.
Hollywood star.
She's
And
terrific.
yes,
Yeah.
and her production assistants say that she is a joy to work with.
I believe that.
So I love her immediately for that because I've been a staff like on a lot of like filmings and like we always know like who the a-hole is and you're like,
Yeah,
oh,
of course.
let's avoid them. And just being nice to the staff tells me everything I need to know about you. So she's a class act.
Totally.
And you're right. She just doesn't want to do the things that the other girls are ready to do for the fame. So that makes her boring. Absolutely true.
I
What do
said,
you
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about the new shows that are coming? The reboot of Shaws of Sunset. Then we're going to have the new Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Then we have the Housewife swap. There's just so much going on. And now announcing that New York City is gone.
Yeah.
So I can't believe it. I mean,
There's
I
a lot
can, but I
going on.
can't. What is
I
happening?
know. I'm really excited for Rhode Island. I'm from New England. I'm from Massachusetts. My husband's from Rhode Island. So we're very familiar. And I've been telling Andy, and I develop shows as well. So I'm in a lot of Bravo meetings with developers. I've been pitching a New England housewife show for years. And I didn't know if that was going to be Boston. We talked about Newport, Rhode Island at one point because, there's just so much money there. But Newport's a very sort of private enclave. I don't think you could get cameras in there.
Mhm.
So I'm so excited because I'm going to know like everywhere these women go, I'm going to know these people are going to be very familiar to me. And so that's going to be fun. The way they're framing it, that it's going to be like a New Jersey kind of franchise. Hold on.
Oh,
Sorry.
really? I don't know.
Yeah. So I think, there's lots of parts of Rhode Island, and there's a part of Rhode Island that's very Italian American, sort of a blue collar, newish money. I think that's where they're going with this. So not like the mansions of Newport, not the old money, which Rhode Island also has.
Which I
I think
imagined
it's going to be,
completely. I
no, I
imagine
don't think
that.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a New Jersey kind of housewives, blue collar,
Ooh.
hairdressers, estheticians, maybe
Table flipping, I hope.
yeah, so table flipping. I think a lot of family drama, maybe some wags, maybe some athlete wives, because there's a lot of athletes on the New England teams live in Rhode Island. So yeah, I think it's gonna have that flavor to it, which will be interesting. I wasn't a huge Shaw's viewer. I know all the folks there. I know Gigi, and they're great. I think that'll be a really fun reboot because they were so young when they did it, and they were like kind of idiots, and they're all grown up now and they have families and kids. And so I think that'll be really fun. And the housewife swap I'm into. I mean, here's one thing about Bravo. They make really good decisions, programming decisions. They know what their fans want. They stick to that. They give us what we want. And they don't, when they experiment, remember there was like a outdoor design show at one point. Like when they experiment, if it doesn't work right away, it's gone. Like it is gone. They fail fast, right? Because they don't want to lose their loyal viewers. We love Bravo. We know what we want, and they want to give it to us.
Amazing. What do you think the future brings for the New York housewives?
Yeah.
I am not surprised because everybody was kind of complaining about the new cast. I love the
Yeah.
old cast. Like, come on.
Yeah.
They're all iconic. I don't know. Was that a big mistake on Bravo's end?
I liked
They tried.
the New York reboot. I liked most of those characters. There wasn't a ton of drama until the end of last season with the Bryn Uba thing, and that was wild. But these, to me, felt like real New York women, like people I might be friends with in New York. So I liked it, and I would be happy to do another season with those women. But I saw the blogs and I saw what people are saying. They weren't into it. New York is really tough because once they got rid of the OGs, I mean, people were so protective of that group. It was really hard to come in with a different cast and attempt the same kind of magic in a bottle that they had in those first years with, Luann and Ramona and then Sonia and Bethany and Carol and, there were just icons, and it's really hard to replace those folks.
I think that was the biggest issue, just because everybody was so attached to the OGs.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I did not mind the newbies at all. I was just getting into it, and like you said, at the end of
Same.
the season, we had a big fallout with Bryn and Uba, and I was like, okay, let's
Yeah.
see what happens. We're warming up. We're getting
Yes.
there. Somebody's gonna end up in the bushes like Luann. It's happening, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, they're gone. But
She's
let's see.
gone.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm still on the lookout. I still have some hope. We'll see. And
Yeah.
okay, so Paige
You never
and
know. They might do a Real Housewives of Queens or a Real Housewives of Brooklyn. They might try to shift the flavor of New York to get away from the sort of Manhattan Upper East Side feel that it always had.
I might have had too much wine in COVID. I might have deleted that message. You never know. I might have. But I might have DM'd Andy Cohen and
Uh-huh.
pitched the Real Housewives of Astoria, calling it Queens of
Perfect.
Queens, because all of my
Perfect.
friends here are immigrants, and it's a whole new universe that the world
Different
doesn't know
vibe. Yeah.
about. And we have from doctors, architects to stay-at-home moms to drama to so I was like, I had this whole idea and I pitched it,
Yeah.
and I think Andy is still thinking about it. That's what it like
It's
5
so
years
funny that you
later.
say that.
I'm
It's so funny that you say that, because when I first met him, I said to him, he was like, let me have your phone number, so we can keep in touch about booking for Watch What Happens Live, et cetera. And I was like, I'll give you mine. You cannot give me yours, because I will abuse that. I will fully abuse that phone number. I will text you all the time, ideas and, rants and raves. So I don't have his number on purpose, because I would totally be that
Wow.
person too.
Oh my God. Wow. And now I'm talking to myself, Luby, do not ever email SE your new idea, sweetie. Don't lose
Yeah.
a nice new friend. Don't be that person.
Right.
So I'm not going to
Keep it
email you
profesh.
at 1
Yeah.
a.m. I'm
No,
not doing
don't
it.
do it.
Oh my goodness. I have so many Bravo questions. So I'm going to just rapid fire a few.
Yeah.
Craig or Paige? I am Team Paige. I don't know why. I mean, I do. I love Craig. I love them both, but come on. Paige all the way through. What do you think?
I get that. I'm friends with Craig, so I'm Team
I
Craig,
love
just
him.
by virtue of being his friend, and I adore him, and I'm very protective of him. I don't know Paige, but I think she outgrew him, and that's okay. That
Exactly.
happens at their age, that she outgrew him a little bit. That's okay. What I don't like is sort of the shit talking on Craig that her whole girl gang is doing. Like, that's not necessary. They broke up. He didn't want to. She did, but it was amicable. There was no drag down fights. No one cheated. They broke, like, let these two people live and go on with their lives. I don't know why they keep like trying to make Craig a villain in this story. He doesn't need to be.
No, he doesn't. They just were not for each other. There were two
Yeah,
good people who are not good together. That was it.
agreed.
And I was pretty proud of Craig how he handled all the answers with
Me too.
Andy. He was
Yeah,
like, "No, it's over. Let's not talk about it." He didn't say anything bad. So good for Craig.
right.
He's growing. I mean, like you have to love Craig. He's just a sweetie.
He's
He's a
lovable.
sweetie pie.
Yeah.
He's just. And I do have to ask you: has Shep, your friend Shep Rose, ever given you a shark tooth necklace?
No, I think he saves those for his romantic interests, and we've
Ah,
always just been friends.
I know you were BFF, so maybe out of that love and
No,
respect,
no, I think that's his move for love interests.
just
So
for love
no,
interest.
Shep is great. I love Shep.
Good to
My
know.
husband loves Shep as well. But no, I've not. No shark tooth
So it's
necklace.
specifically for love interests.
I
My
think
bad.
so.
Okay, I get it. I get it. So, what do you think about new Teresa's legal problems? I mean, again, another marriage, another tax fraud, tax issue,
I know.
whatever like she's pretending like nothing is happening. She's very happy on Instagram.
I know.
Is she delusional or is she trying
So you
to
said
act
it.
happy?
You said it. She's a little
Come
delulu. And
on.
listen, I haven't told this story because it just happened maybe last week. I was with Teresa at an event, And she was talking about how, her kid is on Gia is going to be on a new Bravo show with all
I
the
know.
Bravo kids.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Well, I'm so excited for her cuz she'll get to do this on her own terms. My show was ruined when my brother and sister-in-law came on." She is still convinced that Joe and Melissa ruined her life instead of like her Joe and their decisions, having anything to do with
That
that. So
tells you everything you need to know about her thought
100%.
process, about who she
100%.
is in a
So
nutshell, how
this
she
was not
makes
on
decisions.
camera. She said this because she believes it. Like, this is what she believes,
Wow.
that her brother and sister ruined her life, ruined her show. So, I'm not surprised that she's hooked up again with, a fraudster, if that turns out to be true. I don't think she's got like the best judgment. I think she's a terrific mom,
She
but I
is.
don't think she's got a great judgment about men and business.
Wow, great psychological analysis in this one. I love it. Uh, Alexis Bellino is
Yeah.
marrying John Janssen.
I can't.
This
This
is
is
this is
crazy.
I wanna gouge my eyes out.
I know.
I want my time back before I knew about them.
It's so
Why?
true.
Why?
I thought
They're
once
gonna
the
get a divorce
season
in a year
Yeah,
or
I
less.
thought once the season was over, they would call off the wedding because, like,
They're
this
Luann and
had to be.
Tom, aren't
This
they?
had to be
Luann and
for the
Tom?
cameras.
Yes.
It doesn't appear to be. It does not appear to be because the wedding's still on. I don't know if she's hoping for a spinoff or something, but it's not happening. No one wanted what they were selling that last OC season. People were like, "Get Alexis off my screen. She's ruining it. Like, she's ruining the drama of this cast." And yeah,
She's
it's
not
not
even a
good.
good villain. She's annoying.
She's
It
bad
wasn't
at being a villain, and she's annoying.
She's
I
not
agree.
good at it. It wasn't even like, you feel bad for Shannon because it's a lot. It's
Oh,
a lot to
totally.
have
You
your
felt
ex.
bad for Shannon.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then you look at Alexis and you're like, "Just stop talking.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Just stop talking." Like,
Yeah.
it's like she's very unfortunately very annoying. The way she kicked out those girls from her home when they came to check in on
Yeah.
her, and like
Crazy.
those little moves, I'm like, "You're psychotic. Nobody wants you around, and this marriage is doomed. We all know it.
It just didn't feel
Best of luck."
genuine. Like, none of it felt genuine. Like, it felt like
No.
acting. We know
No.
she's not a great actress because we saw her first time. So it just, yeah, it all felt like she was playing for the cameras, and that never works. And Andy
Never.
will say, like, some of his advice to new housewives is like, do not produce this
Mm.
show yourself because the audience can tell and they get really annoyed. And it felt like Alexis was trying to produce.
Yeah. So this is a great segue in a sense that Alexis was not authentic. And here's another person that I think about immediately when I say those words. And we're stepping out of the Bravo universe, but it's Meghan Markle. Isn't that one of her biggest problems? I mean, with heavy heart, I'm stepping away from Bravo universe, but I have to talk about Meghan Markle because every
Yeah,
time I turn on my TV, I touch my phone, I talk to somebody,
there she
I
is.
step out, there she is.
I know.
It's the rebranding. It's the new
Constant.
podcast. It's Beyonce's concert. It's her kids on social media, even though she's against it because that's not safe. Harry, another BBC interview. Poor thing. And now this morning, the doorbell camera photo from Harry. I don't know if you had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I did.
I mean, what is going on there? And for like, listen, we can all make our assumptions and all of that, but just to look at them is to see somebody genuinely struggling as a couple in many ways. And this morning with that doorbell pic, I saw Harry as somebody who's emotionally and mentally struggling as
Mm,
well. He seems like a
yeah.
broken person, and I felt sad for him in a way.
Hmm.
You can tell
Yeah.
that he's really facing a lot of challenges.
I think he is. I think they are. And I don't think her constant rebranding and putting herself out there for public consumption is helping. And I'm confused because they, you know, tried to escape the royal family because they wanted less scrutiny and to live private lives. They're not living a private life. Like you said, everywhere I go, she's there constantly with some new product or new show or new podcast or new book. And It's exhausting. That's part of it. She is oversaturated. But the other part for her specifically is that lack of authenticity. We don't know who Meghan is. She keeps wanting to tell us who she is, but she cannot do this authentically, and I don't know why. She's very concerned with the packaging of herself and not what's inside, and sharing that part of herself. This last interview that she did was insane, and nothing's making her likable or connected or, you know, someone you want to get to know more, despite the fact that she keeps trying to say, here's who I am, here's who I am, look at me. Yeah. And so I don't know. It seems to me they don't have people around them telling them the hard truths. Like, you need to get off camera. You guys need to go work on your marriage. You guys probably need to stop, being public people for a little bit. I don't think anyone's telling them that. And I think it shows.
Yeah. And it's been known for a while now that they also don't take criticism well, especially Meghan.
You can tell.
She doesn't take directions or criticism or anything. And as soon as you criticize her and tell her, hey, maybe just to do that a little bit differently, she cuts you off immediately.
You can tell.
That's exactly. She has limited herself to a very few, people who just say yes to everything that she does, lives in a little echo chamber, and we see the results. So I honestly don't even know what's next for them, but I do anticipate that if William becomes the king sooner rather than later, which is most likely going to happen, he will strip them down of all the titles. Do you agree?
I agree.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're done with him. Like, stop running your mouth about us and our drama in public. This was the whole point. You guys wanted to leave all this, so leave it.
Yeah. Oh my God. And also Harry always saying that he doesn't have the security. That's the only thing that he's like holding a grudge right now. That's also not true. King Charles paid for his security for the first year. And now he still has the security. He can stay at the Buckingham Palace, and he can announce he's coming 28 days earlier, and then he will receive security.
But he doesn't
want that.
What he wants, though, are cops with guns. Because he's not getting that, and that's only for royal family protection, because in the UK the cops don't have guns, so that's what he's asking for and not getting.
So why are you roaming then streets of England and ringing doorbell cameras without any security if you feel like everything is a threat? Why are you in Ukraine? Why are you traveling everywhere without security? But okay, it's fine, it's great. We don't have much time, and I do want to close out with one more question and one more drama. Blake Lively, Taylor Swift. This is going to be bigger than Johnny Depp trial. This is going to be huge. I will be sleeping outside of that courtroom. I mean, Taylor Swift has been subpoenaed. Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll get Taylor Swift on camera, because, I've been subpoenaed. These happen in like closed rooms, generally. So I don't know about that part, but this whole story is crazy and self-inflicted. Like, these two people, Blake and Ryan, are ruining their lives for a lawsuit that isn't even real, like doesn't even have evidence or teeth from everything I'm seeing. Ruining their lives. They had such political capital in Hollywood, and they're blowing it by, sticking with this lawsuit. They should have dropped it months ago. It's only going to get worse for them. It's bad. It's really bad. They're not going to survive it. I mean,
what a train wreck. And you're right. Like, there was a point where they could have just, pulled the plug and just go back.
And they should have.
They should have. It's too late. The public is against them. And she does remind me of Meghan. They remind me of Meghan and Harry, and like, Delulu universe, posting on Instagram,
like going down together. Yeah.
And it's just, it's kind of difficult to watch.
No,
but
it's the same, because I don't think they have people around them either that are telling them the hard things. Like, you guys are not likable right now. You guys need to go away. You guys need to drop this lawsuit. You guys are doing all the wrong things. I don't think anyone in their universe is telling them that. It always shows. You can always tell when people don't have good people around them that actually
I
want
know.
to protect them.
I know. Ilaria Baldwin is out there as well. She's
Yeah.
one of those.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, so much to cover, but so little time. Thank you so much for being
My
here today.
pleasure. This was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. So this was more than fun for me. This was a dream come true. So thank you
Oh,
again
great.
for your time. SE Cupp on Twitter and Instagram. TikTok is Off the Cup, and on iHeartRadio you can catch your pod Off the Cup. SE Cupp, one and only. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.